Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the admission webinar of Risk Management and Business Intelligence Program. Before we start, let me introduce myself first. I'm Jing Wan, and I'm currently the UG Program Coordinator of this program. And sitting next to me is John.
Yeah, and I'm an year 3 RMBI student.
So first, let me introduce what is risk management and business intelligence. Now, our program actually compared with some traditional programs under SBM, like finance and accounting, our program is quite new. So RMBI was first established in year 2009. And why we, in the first place, why we have this kind of new program start up in the UST is in 2007, we all know that there was a global financial crisis. And during that crisis, a lot of actually big banks collapsed, and the whole global economy actually took a sharp downturn. And after that, so the industry and the government trying to trace back the events and to examine what is the major cause of that tragedy. So we find that, okay, the fundamental reason is because a lot of banks at that time, they're trying to pursue short-term return, and they kind of ignore the long-term risk. So that's why so after the financial crisis, so the industry began to take actions. So they start to standardize the risk management process. They're trying to hire more risk management people. And then the government also trying to tighten the regulation. So as a leading education pioneers as UST, we feel that we also need to contribute something. So that's the reason that we set up this program and then try to provide more education to the society on the risk management talents, so that also try to provide a new kind of workforce into the industry. So our program, the risk management and business intelligence. So we got two focuses of the program. One part is risk management, of course, and then the other part is BI. Okay, so our program is actually the first of its kind in Hong Kong to integrate these two components. And because we want to, so the ultimate goal is we're trying to minimize the risk effectively. So, but somehow a lot of times when we're trying to look into the risk, we need to go dig into the past historical data or statistical data. So that's why we also put the BI components into the program. And at that time, when we started the program, the big data term was not even invented, like 10, 12 years ago. Okay, so so like I mentioned, our goal is trying to assess, minimize the risk, and through using our business intelligence tools and dig into the historical data, do a forecasting, and then try to help the company as well as help the society. Okay, and then on the curriculum side, our program is a very special program. It's actually interdisciplinary. So if you're looking into the bubbles of this slide, you're going to see our RMBI in the middle, and then we have science, we have engineering, and the business management. So this actually is the structure of our curriculum. We have like 1/3 of courses coming from science school, so which we're talking about mathematical models, statistics, probabilities. And then we have 1/3 of courses coming from engineering school, which are the programming courses, the data mining courses, and recently the machine learning, artificial intelligence courses. And then another third of the curriculum comes from the business management business school. So students need to take like fundamental business courses like finance, accounting, in order to understand the industry, how it works. So that's basically our 3 pillars of the curriculum. It's quite interdisciplinary. So let me ask the question of, so George, you actually entered our school the program directly 3 years ago with a very high DSE score. So at that time, what made you to choose RMBI? And after you entered, do you find the program actually matches with your expectation?
Yeah, I think it actually matches my expectations. So originally, I chose RMBI because of the math and the programming elements, like you have just said. And I'm pretty interested in math, like for example, calculus or linear algebra, and also programming. So in this program, I learned about, for example, Excel VBA, Python, and C++. And these are all really interesting knowledge that I've equipped. So this is one part that I like. And another thing is that we have a lot of projects. Like for example, we will analyze some business cases, or we will type some programming codes together. So I think these projects can train my team working skills and actually strengthen my friendships with others, and also make me acquire some more business sense. So I think those are really valuable things for me. And another thing is about the mingling events. So we have just attended the 10th anniversary dinner, right? Yeah, and so that's one of the examples of mingling events, and I think they can really bond our relationship with our professors and also with other students as well. So these are the elements that I like about RMBI. And speaking of like math and programming and projects, this reminds me of next year I need to do this capstone project.
Yeah.
So could you share something about that?
Okay, so actually I have a slide here. Now for capstone projects, it's quite a bigger chunk of the curriculum. So it will happen in year 4 with 8 credits in total. So students will be forming groups, and then we invite our industry partners to give us a real business topic or real business problems. So what happened in their business, in their company, and then they pass the problem to our student groups. So the student groups you need to do research. You need to discuss the requirements from the business partners, and then take the project back to school, and then trying to find a solution for the business partners for the company. So some of our projects are risk related. For example, some of the students were doing like stock analysis and like the dividends from the stocks, and then trying to do some forecasting, etc. And then some projects are more related to business intelligence, to AI, or to machine learning, or even sentimental analysis. So we, in the past, we have students doing like projects to develop a chatbot for a company, or develop a data visualization tools for a company to visualize the charts, the relationships between their customers, etc. Okay, so the capstone projects will give our students somehow a chance to apply what you're learning in the first 3 years, what you're learning in classroom, into a real business settings. So also you can practice teamwork as well, because you work as teams, and then also communication skills, because you need to communicate with the business partners as well as supervisors, the faculty supervisors. So I think that would be a very good learning opportunities for you. Okay, so besides the curriculum, besides our regular courses, in our program, we also provide a lot of enrichment activities. So I think George attend a lot of them. So for enrichment activities, what we're trying to do is we actually get some feedback from our employees. So one of the feedback is that the students, very important skills of the students or the people working in the industry is that you need communication skills. And those kind of soft skills may not get enough training. Students may not get enough training within the classrooms, because in classrooms, usually you take the knowledge in one way, and at the most you do a group project, doing a presentation for the course. But somehow the soft skills training within the classroom may not be enough. So that's why we're trying to provide more opportunities for students to enhance their communication skills as well as social interaction skills. So in the social events, how you can chit chat with people, and then how to start with a small talk or something like that. So from the list, you can see that we have regularly we hold like an RMBI symposium to gather the professionals and executives to give us talks, and we have mentorship programs to invite the industry partners to be the mentors of the students, and then we have like internships, career talks, all kinds of different opportunities. So on average, I think it's around like 10 events per semester, roughly, right?
Yeah.
So which one you like the most? Which ones you like the most?
I would say the RMBI newsletter is a memorable experience.
Okay.
So I worked with a few non-local students to investigate some risks related to the One Belt One Road initiative.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that's a very interesting project. And also for the RMBI mentorship program, each of the year 3 students will have a mentor. And my mentor works in Bloomberg, and he gave me a lot of advice on my career path, etc. And also, I would like to introduce the RMBI 2001. It is one of our courses where we can take some workshops and also attend some seminars to know more about the industry and also gain some skills. So for example, I attended the self-introduction in interview workshop. So I learned how to introduce myself, obviously. And these are more of the formal side, more the practical things. And in terms of the leisure parts, we also have the peer mentorship program. Where the year 3 students will be the mentor of year 1 students, and so we can have a closer bonding with each other. And I remember when I was in year 1, I played the war game, which was very fun.
I was there.
And also another one is the RMBI Students Association, where some friends and I held some activities, and we had greater friendship bonds, and we also learned to organize events better. So can you tell me something about like the career prospects of RMBI?
Okay, because you are now in year 3, right?
Yeah, so
next year will be year will be year 4. You're looking for jobs. So here is some past statistics of our program. That on the right you see the RMBI graduates currently work in a big major global firms. So like we have students working in like top 4 accounting firms, auditing firms, local banks, investment banks, as well as some tech companies. I think this year we have students go to Tencent and Alibaba, etc. So on the right, for the pie chart, you see the distributions of our graduates, which industry sectors they work in. So that a majority, or not majority, around half of our students will go to banking, because Hong Kong is a financial hub. So lots of local banks, global banks, so they provide a lot of opportunities. So 40% of our, 46% of our students go to banking. But when students go to banking, they're taking different jobs. So we have students go to like do sales and trading, or we have students like go to the risk division to manage and calculate risk. We have students go to like an asset management, etc. Okay, so that's for, around 50%, and then the rest of the 50% is quite diversified. We have students go to top consultancy firms. We have students go to like auditing firms. Sometimes they go to auditing firm, but they can do like technical consulting, because some of the top 4 auditing firms, they actually have consulting division as well, and also risk advisory divisions. So not necessarily related to accounting, but somehow related to the business. And then we also have students quite interested on the BI side, like you take programming courses, basically. Basically, if the company needs the developers, need data people, so they have data need to analyze, then our students will be suitable for those kind of jobs. So you can see that we also have students go to like IT industry and even startups. Okay, so I know that you have been in internship in the past summer. So how is the experience? How our program actually helped you a little bit? I mean, what do you learn in the courses?
So last summer I went to BNP Paribas, which is a private bank, and I did some Excel work, like using Excel VBA. So I created a VBA program code, and I'm really thankful that in the RMBI program we learned Excel VBA in year 1.
Okay,
so I actually had the knowledge to actually type that and automate a business process. So I think this really proves that the things that we learned can be applied to the workplace. And also another thing that I joined is the BEA 100 FinTech Challenge, which is a case competition. So I also used some knowledge that I learned from the program, and also the business sense that I acquired through the program to actually make some innovative ideas in the case competition. So I think that's very beneficial for me.
Okay, and you can put those things into a CV, right?
Yeah.
That would help. Okay, so lastly, here is some career perspectives. So I actually grabbed the data from the web. So yearly, I would go to like some major news websites or like business related websites. So they actually post this kind of like job forecasting in America, in globally, etc. So here, if you're looking at the charts, we have like 2018 top 50 best jobs. Within that top 50, the number 1 is data scientist, definitely related to our program. Number 11, number 13, that's compliance and risk. Okay, number 18 is analytics. Now, in this year, 2019, top best jobs in America. Again, you can see the number 1 is data scientist. Actually, data scientist is in the top 1 for 4 years in a row. Okay, and then we also have data engineers and risk managers. So this is also what I advise our students to do. So advise like year 3 students or even year 2 students. So you kind of, before you actually plan your which jobs, what kind of industry you want to go to, you may need to do some research. So go to the job websites to dig out some statistics about what the industry think about and what actually the workplace, the companies think about, what kind of talents that they are lack of and they are trying to hire more. So I think for, in general, for RMBI, we have a very diversified curriculum path. So students can choose which stream you want to go to and which path you want to take. So no matter which one, whether you're going to focus in AI, BI or RM, I'm sure very positive that you're going to have a bright future. Okay, so that's pretty much the general introduction. So here we were open to questions. So if you have questions, please type into your platform and then we will see it. So the first question is kind of related to admission requirements. So the question is, do I have to be good in math to study RMBI? Is M1 or M2 required? So that's, I think it's from the DSE students. So basically we do not require our M1 and M2, but if you have M1, M2, we're gonna give a higher weighting when we calculate the admission score. So if you ask me whether you need to be good in math or not, I would say you need to be comfortable in math because we do like a lot of math courses with math students. So at least you need to be like not afraid of math. And when you come into the school, then we have our math course structure is very good structure. So we have fundamental courses, and then build on fundamentals. We go a little bit level up in year 2 and then level up in year 3. So if you're following the path, it should be good. So second question, can I do a second major in RMBI? Did you do second major?
No, but one of my friends is pursuing the CS double major. So. Okay. Yeah.
So do you have any minors?
I'm planning to take actuarial math or maybe math. I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's flexible.
Yeah, in UST we're very flexible. So we encourage students to take courses outside your own curriculum. So we have like George says, we have students doing double major. We have students with 1 major and 1 minor, and even some students 1 major, 2 minors. So it's very flexible. It's up to your own personal interest and as well as your timetable. Okay, so the third question is Capstone project topic chosen by the students? What are the topics students did in the past? Probably you are wondering that as well because you haven't studied yet, right? So our capstone project actually was, like I said, we invited our industry partners to give us topics. So every year we invite like 15 to 20 topics coming from the industry, and then we let students to freely form their groups, and eventually we will give you a form, and then you will then assign that which topics you like the most. So you will have to give us preferences, and then according to the student preferences, we're going to match the students with the topic. So in some sense, you could say students can choose the topic because you got the list of the topics to indicate the preferences. But all the projects are actually coming from the real industry partners, from the companies. Okay. So maybe I will answer the next question is, I'm afraid that I did not study ICT. ICT is full name is in.
I think it's a computer subject in DSE, but
like
I'm not sure.
Information communication technology, something like that. And then I cannot handle. So obviously you didn't take that course.
Yeah, I didn't.
so you see, so we have a perfect example here. You don't have to take ICT, and because like I said, our curriculum is quite clearly structured. So even for students newly coming in, we do not assume you have any computer background, right? Of course, if you have, then you're gonna find it more easier to adapt to the new environment and more easier for you to learn the new to do in the courses. But if you don't have ICT background, that's totally fine.
Yeah, since in year 1 we will have some basic courses like VBA or Java or
the programming Python.
Python, yeah. So we have these basic in the year 1 already, so it should be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me see. Next question is, what is the major difference between RMBI and programs like Agrarian Science, Quantitative Finance, and Data Analytics offered by other schools? So if you ask me, because RMBI is really interdisciplinary. So if you're talking about like quantitative finance, it's a very traditional subject offered by business school for many years. So majorly the students take courses within business schools. So they may have some coding courses as well, but somehow all the courses almost all the courses coming from business school. But for RMBI, we are really interdisciplinary. So we have courses from math, we have courses from computer science, we have courses from business. So it's kind of, you kind of absorb the knowledge from different subjects. And then when you have courses or you meet people from different subjects, sometimes you may have a different kind of like chemistry and then different kind of inspirations. So that's somehow one difference. Another difference is that for risk management components, we really focus on financial risks. So for quantitative finance, I think they don't focus that much on risk. They do like corporate finance, they do like valuation, they do like investments, but they're trying to presume, of course, a lot of companies are trying to presume bigger return. But at the same time, while we are trying to get a bigger return, we need to also looking into the risk aspect. And higher risk, higher return, right? Yeah. But return is not the only factors that we need to measure the business is healthy, and health or not. Okay. So so I will answer the question about where the standard be higher if I choose the school-based program and then choose RMBI in year 2. George, you choose RMBI directly, right?
Yeah.
So for our program, we actually yearly we take like 40 to 45 students, but that 40 to 45 quotas will be split into half. So half of the students, like around 20, we take from year 1, so like George here, were students from JUPAS and direct entry, and then the other half were from like at the end of year 1, we take like business school general major students and general business school students choose to go to RMBI. Then the standard, I would say, the competition is same tough, I think, because for year 1 students, we look at the GPA, and then we look at the interview performance. For DSE students like George, we also look at the DSE score, and we look at the interview performance. So I would say similar, yeah. Okay, here is an IB question, because we answered several questions about DSE. Now, may I know the average IB score required for risk management? So for IB score, our past 3 years, the average score is around 36 to 40. Okay, and I do see the trends of increase the number of applicants from IB curriculum. In the past, maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we mainly take like program-based, school-based students. So not many students coming from IB, but now more and more students from the IB curriculum trying to applying for our program as well. Okay, so I think time is up, and it is nice to talk to you, and nice to give you guys a briefing about our program. So here is our contact information. If you have any questions related to admission, related to the program, to the curriculum, anything, please do not hesitate to contact us.
See you in RBI.
Yeah, see you in USD.